Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more classic Am I the Asshole? And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's dive straight into today's first story. Now today's first story comes from TA Moving Out, who asks, am I the arsehole for removing all the improvements I made to my room and my parents' house after they announced that I would have to move? I, 25 female, live with my parents, 50 female and 55 male, because it is very close to my service and it is a very expensive area. I currently live alone, but I didn't because I never needed it and my parents didn't ask. As time went on and I earned more, I put in air conditioning, made my room smart as well as the house, Alexa, put a very good shower in the guest room, which I eventually added to my bedroom. I bought quality furniture to my room, etc. My room turned out to be the best in the house because of the changes I made. And yes, I paid rent to my parents, quite fat by the way. It's been 3 months since they came to talk to me, saying it was time for me to change because they wanted to have their moment alone now and I was able to live on my own. I agreed. After all, I was just living there for ease and convenience. I found a house and I would need to make all the changes I planned. So in order not to have to buy it when I have it, I replaced all the sockets, bulbs, switches, smart ones, and the shower with common ones. I paid for them all, and this increase in energy I paid too. I also removed the air conditioner and paid to plug the hole it leaves. Besides, of course, all the furniture in my room and Alexa scattered around the house. My parents started complaining that I shouldn't take everything out, as they were in common use. They were planning to move his room to mine, and that with these changes I made my room worse and the house in general too. It's just not smart. Everything I bought was quality. I said that they had asked me to move and I'm taking everything I bought because I needed to have other expenses. I made payment on the house and these items were all bought by me, and all the increase in energy I had paid was only by me too, and that if they wanted to buy it I can help search online, but I would take these items. They called me selfish because I made the house worse and removed the items in common use, as they were already used to the smart home. They complained even more when I didn't want to leave the 65-inch smart TV in my room as a gift for them. I didn't leave it because it's new and it's too expensive. I moved a week ago, but they are still upset. All items are brand new, most less than 1 year old. Add, yes, it was cheaper for me to replace. Legally, I can do this. It's not the US. These changes are very expensive in my country. Am I the arsehole? Added information. No replaced item made them lose money, or were replaced by the same, before smart or better. It's because the smart is twice the price of normal items, so obviously it's of a lesser quality compared to the smart things. Extra about the AC. I didn't put it in the text. They complained the least because they don't use it. I took it mainly because it would gather dust in my parents' house. But Whiskey Fisticuff says not the arsehole. I don't understand why your parents would expect you to leave stuff that you bought for your convenience. As long as the hole from the AC unit is patched and painted, there would be no issue. Hot Highlight replies that saying, this reminds me of a post some time ago of the tenant who turned a bare dirt backyard into a nice garden with plants, greenhouse, garden shed, etc. And when asked to leave, took it all along, only for the landlords to freak out because the value of the house plummeted because of the barren backyard. Never gets old. Not the arsehole. Your parents wanted to profit from the changes you made. Any chance you could have left it as was, or they had to pay for new equipment. Knox Nick says, not the arsehole. There is no reason why they should think you shouldn't take the things you paid for other than them being your parents. They're the arseholes here, not you. If they wanted to keep the improvements, they should have helped pay for them and for the increase in energy consumption. If they had, then they would then have at least a leg to stand on legally. When improvements are paid for equally, then they almost always stay with the property. There might be payments to one of the parties to recoup funds, but that's about it. You paid for all of it, including rent. They benefited from it without paying a cent. Not the arsehole, period. Revolutionary Stuff says not the arsehole. After rereading the post, you replaced everything and you improved and paid for it to be replaced with normal versions, and are paying for any fixes that could be needed. Everything else you are taking is yours and not actually something your parents need and can very easily live without. As long as you've replaced the things you initially replaced, like the shower and lights or whatever, then no, you are not the arsehole, because everything else is yours and you brought to improve your space, not theirs. Head Effect says, it seems you went through a lot of effort and even expensive hole patching just to make sure you didn't leave anything behind. While this stuff is yours, you seem to have gone above and beyond to make sure your parents didn't get anything of added value. That is a tad arsehole-ish. Some of these things aren't overly expensive. And one more from Holy Boy who says, info, what is fat rent you paid? Was it market value? If your fat rent was reasonably/significantly undervalued, more inclined to say you're the arsehole. Also exclude any premium that you paid because contributing to the household. Also, if you were paying a fat rent by rental value only but then getting food/laundry etc. for free, deduct those items and you may not be paying such a fat rent. 2. Did you ask your parents for a monetary amount for all the stuff that they wanted to keep, to kickstart your new place? Would have saved you money and structural repairs for the AC, and they are your parents, not a random landlord. I'm assuming maintaining reasonable parental relations is on your to-do list, and you did live there for a long time. Scrap this point if you despise your parents. Also, some of the stuff you did, like ripping out sockets, surely it's just easier to get some cash from your parents and leave it there. This is what I would have done if I was in your situation, and if it wasn't possible, I would have taken some stuff and left others depending on value/need. 3. Although you paid for the repairs to be done, in many places, in-wall air cons for sure, and other in-wall stuff like sockets, TBC, are considered to be a fixture. Now, what do you guys make of this situation? Did you think OP went too far, or do you think no, they paid for everything so they get to keep it? And considering that last comment with them being the parents and not the landlord, would that make any difference to you? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from Throwaway Texas Boy, who says, am I the arsehole for getting my aunt and uncle kicked out of their house for not letting my husband and I sleep together? I, male 27, am married to a man, male 28. He is the love of my life. I'd only ever dated women before him, but when I met him I realized I was bi and we fell in love. We got married in the fall of 2018, so it's been almost 4 years. We now live in Vermont. My whole family is from a small town in Texas, a super conservative Catholic area. I was raised there, but Dad got a job in NYC when I was 15. The culture shock was difficult. We went from living in rural Texas to living in an apartment in Manhattan. My parents didn't sell our house in Texas. They allowed our aunt and uncle, who just had their third child, to move in while charging them a small rent. In college, when I came out as bi, my brother and dad were very supportive. My mum needed some time to accept. The rest of my family reacted poorly at first, but came around. During visits, we stayed with my aunt and uncle at my old house, but because we weren't married, we weren't allowed to share a bed. We didn't argue. We both would rather make peace. Visiting since instead of staying with my aunt and uncle, we would rent a motel room. During COVID, we did not visit them, but this summer, my parents and bro decided to go visit my hometown again for 2 weeks and invited my husband and I. I wanted a motel again, but my aunt and uncle insisted my brother, husband, and I stay with them. The first night sleeping situation was being discussed after my cousin went to bed. My aunt and uncle wanted me and bro to take the spare bedroom, husband on couch. All 3 of us took issue with that. They snapped that we were not really married because we were gay, and that they had children in the house. They said it would be a bad influence on their kids. This hurt my husband's feelings and he started crying and ran out the room. When my husband ran out, my uncle had the audacity to start laughing. That's when I saw red. I started cussing them out loudly that my young cousins came to investigate. I told him that if they didn't go apologize to my husband immediately, then I was going to tell my dad what just happened, and I was going to make sure to have them kicked out of the house. That was still in my parents' name. My bros seconded everything that I was saying. They started backtracking and saying that we were still welcome in their house, but that we had to follow their rules. I responded that it wasn't really their house. I told them they were going to be homeless if I had my way. The kids started crying because they heard me say that they were going to be homeless, so we left. My husband was on the porch crying. I promised him that I would never subject him to that again. I told Dad what happened. To say my dad was angry would be an understatement. He served them a notice of eviction for 60 days. I've been getting calls and texts and Facebook messages from family calling me an arsehole. I want to know, am I the arsehole for allowing my young cousins to end up homeless? Is it fair that they had to pay for what my aunt and uncle said to me and my husband? We shall start with Liz 4, who says not the arsehole. They insisted a hotel was not needed and then decided to disregard your marriage. The whole not married so separate rooms thing was clearly an excuse before as well. It's entirely your father's decision who to let the house to, and you're within your rights to tell him what happened. Just because he reacted as you expected him to doesn't make you an arsehole. Opie replied saying, I think that's partly why I got so angry. Not just the fact that they disrespected my husband and our marriage, and that I am a ride or die for my husband. They were the ones to insist we stay with them only for them to tell us we weren't really married because of our sexual orientation, in their eyes. Therefore, not allowed to stay in the same room. It just felt like a setup. Old B says not the arsehole. They played a cruel and stupid game and won a stupid prize. They insisted you and hubby stay exactly so they could do this. You told your father and he acted as he wanted. Any family that doesn't want them homeless can take them in. I mean, they having been benefiting from cheap rent for what, 12 years? They should have been taking that time to save for a house or something. Maybe your dad just used this as an excuse to kick out a freeloading sibling in their family. And if their financial situation is such that this will truly leave them homeless, then they should be smart enough not to be cruel to you. Sunrise Library says not the arsehole, not the arsehole, not the arsehole. I can't fault you for anything here. You're properly married and should be respected as such. I admire you so much for standing up against these bigots who are supposed to be your family. And hats off to your dad for standing by you. You are all awesome, except aunt and uncle, who are clearly the arseholes. Now, what do you guys make of this situation? I think it's clearly a not the arsehole, but I did find it extremely strange that, they invited him to stay at the house knowing that they were going to be doing this down the road. Ugh, dear. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's check out another story. Our next story comes from Potted Planets, who says, am I the arsehole for telling my sister the truth about why I moved out the day I turned 18? When I, 23 female, was 10 years old. My parents divorced. My dad was so mean in the way he spoke to my mum. He always made her do all the housework and difficult parenting, but would swoop in to be the fun parent and apologize to my siblings and I for her behavior. If I'm honest, for a while I believed all the things he said about my mum and I hated her for years. I still feel so guilty about it too. My dad's friend was my mother's boss at the time of their separation. I don't know if my dad got my mum fired, but I assume he did because she lost her job the day after she left him. He made more money than she did. His name was on the house. He knew she didn't have the resources to dispute him in court for very long, so he drew the process out for as long as possible until my mum ended up homeless and living in her car. She lost custody of all three of us and had to move to another state to stay with her sister because she couldn't find work here without an address. He cut her off from us and we didn't talk for years. As soon as my mum was gone, my dad began treating me the way he had treated her. It was a total switch from the man I'd grown up with. All of a sudden, it was like he hated me. It took that total 180 for me to realize what had happened between him and my mum. I pieced together everything over the next few years, went through some documents from the divorce that confirmed what I suspected. By the time I was 16, I started saving money to move out as soon as possible, and at midnight on my 18th, I took my things and left. I later reconnected with my mum too. I've done pretty well for myself after leaving. I have a job, an apartment, a baby. I'm happy with my life. My sister contacted me a few days ago. She just turned 18 and she wanted to see me. We met at a park and talked for a while. When she asked me why I left, I tried to lie and come up with better answers, but she kept pressing, so I told her the truth. All of it, not sparing the details. She didn't respond well to it. She told me our dad would never have done those things, that our mum was the problem. She said she didn't believe me about any of it, and then she stormed off. I told our mum what happened, and she said that I shouldn't have told my sister at all. She thinks that it wasn't fair for me to shatter a reality like that, because she's just a kid and our dad is still her hero. I know what it's like to have that reality-shattering moment, and it sucks, but I mean, She asked for the truth. Was I wrong to give it to her? You know, she's old enough to know the truth in this situation. She's 18 years old, and you wasn't lying, you was literally telling facts here. And I think it's just as simple as that. But Fancy Pants Dancer says, not the arsehole. It sucks, but you told an 18-year-old, not a 5-year-old. As long as you said factual things that you could share, you did nothing wrong. Your mother is wrong, but not an arsehole. I imagine what she went through is traumatic and probably colors how you should handle things. By the way, I understand and appreciate why you feel guilt for believing your father. However, for what it's worth, you were an actual kid being manipulated by your father. That doesn't make things better for how your mother might feel, but it wasn't your fault. Opie replies saying thank you. My mum has said she doesn't blame me for being manipulated by him, and that she understands why I felt the way I did towards her. I know rationally that I was only a kid and I didn't know the truth, so it couldn't have been my fault. But as an adult, now it's hard to accept and remember that sometimes. I'm sure I'll get to the point eventually though. Rucia says, not the arsehole. Abusers are great at being wonderful to some people and awful to others. So the people they're kind to never believe the abuse is happening. It's another form of abuse, a way to make the victim seem like a liar. And one more from KCJV who says, not the arsehole. She asked you for the truth and you gave it to her. Also, your dad was abusive to your mum and later became abusive towards you. So even though your sister may not have had it as hard as you have, though this is mostly speculation based on the fact that she visibly never had the same enlightenment as you did about your father's attitude. It's best for her to be warned about her father's abusive personality in case he eventually decides to turn against her. Now, what do you guys make of this one? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story from Sister Feud 1927 who says, am I the arsehole for telling my sister I hope she never has kids? And before we do get into this story, I just want to give you a warning. There's mentions of infertility and miscarriages as well. So if you do want to skip this story, then please do so. I'm 22 female. I have 3-year-old twin boys and had a baby girl not even 2 days ago. My sister Jodie is 34 and has been suffering with infertility for the past 10 years, as well as repeated miscarriages. I used to feel really bad for her and also a bit guilty as I got pregnant twice while being on contraception. It caused some tension between us when I was pregnant with my twins because she was jealous and I was already feeling intense guilt. This time around, she wasn't as jealous, but I still felt it was unfair. As my husband and I have decided we are done having kids, I offered to be a surrogate for my sister as soon as I'm cleared after this baby, and she seemed like she was absolutely over the moon with that. In turn, she offered to watch the twins while I was in labor with my new baby, which was a relief on my part. I went into labor on Thursday morning, and Jodie came over to watch the kids while my husband and I went to the hospital. She seemed like she was in a great mood and promptly rushed us out the door. Everything seemed fine until we got home this morning to find thousands worth of destruction to pretty much every baby item we've purchased. Even the crib mattress was torn open. Everything was ruined. Jodie tried to pin it on the twins, but they are 3, and this level of destruction had to have been done by an adult. My twins can't even reach some of the stuff that was destroyed, and they certainly do not know how to open diaper packages and tear them apart. I know kids, especially toddlers, can do a lot of damage in a short time, but I also know my children aren't capable of doing what happened. I told my sister to get the fuck out of my home and stay away from me and my family. I got really angry and I said a lot of stuff I shouldn't have, but one of them was, I hope you never have a child, and if you do, then I'll tell her exactly what you've done to mine. I told her we can't afford to fix the damage she's caused, but since she still denies it, she won't cough up. I told her because of her, the baby doesn't even have a safe space to sleep. My parents caught wind of what I said, and even after I explained the situation, they still think I'm being an arsehole for saying something so vile to my sister after all she has done for us. Obviously, my judgment is clouded, so am I an arsehole? Crystal Queen starts off with, not the arsehole, your sister flew into a jealous rage when faced with all the things she wants and doesn't have. Can you imagine how terrifying that was for your twins? Those poor babies. A bird of paradise says, ever so slightly everyone sucks here. Your sister is definitely the arsehole and she deserves your rage, but the comment about you hoping she never has kids is quite cruel. I can understand why you said it in the heat of the moment. I'm wondering, is it deserved even after what she did? As many of you have said, I think you should definitely report this to the police. Definitely go no contact with her and focus on your twins and newbie. Congrats on your baby, and I hope you're able to find a safe sleep spot for her. I know how important that is. Curious says, not the arsehole, you might want to call the police and at least get a report filed for the destruction of property if it isn't too late, and you can file an insurance claim. You realize that your children aren't safe around your sister, right? She needs help, immediate help. Are your parents aware that their daughter destroyed their grandchild's bed and clothing and diapers? Little Miss Guru says, not the arsehole, take pictures of the damage, screenshots of any messages you had with her that might further prove your case, other evidence, and bring it to the police. She needs to take financial responsibility for those damages. Also, you did nothing wrong. It is not your fault that she is suffering from infertility. You even went above and beyond and offered to be a surrogate. And that is how she thanked you. She needs help. Document everything. Not to mention, she put your children in danger. And now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for spending your time with me today, getting involved in the stories. Your love, support, and time towards the channel, towards one another, and towards the stories as well is absolutely amazing. And hopefully, we'll see you in the next one. Take care, and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today